Something massive, weighing over 73 trillion pounds, is racing through our solar system right now at more than 124,000 miles per hour. It glows faintly, leaving behind a mysterious haze that scientists still can't explain. But what's truly unsettling isn't its speed or its size. It's the fact that it doesn't belong here. This object, known as 3I Atlas, didn't originate from our sun, our planets, or even our cosmic neighborhood. Its light signature shows a phenomenon no scientist has ever seen before: extreme negative polarization, something that doesn't exist in any known comet. And as if the universe were playing with precision, its orbit is aligned within just 5 degrees of Earth's, a level of mathematical accuracy so unlikely that the odds are less than 1 in a million. Even stranger? The moment it passed closest to Mars, every major NASA data stream went completely dark, shut down at the exact same time due to the US government shutdown. The coincidence is too perfect to ignore. Now, researchers are openly asking the question no one ever wanted to. What if this object isn't natural? What if it's something built, a probe, a messenger, or worse, something that's been watching us all along? As 3I Atlas continues its journey toward the sun, every new image, every spectrum, every fragment of data reveals something that shouldn't exist: mass that can't be explained, light that doesn't behave normally, and a path that looks less like coincidence and more like intention. This isn't just another comet. This might be the first Trojan horse from the stars, a visitor disguised as rock and ice, quietly drifting through our solar system on a mission older than civilization itself. The universe just got a lot stranger, and what 3I Atlas does next could change everything we thought we knew about life beyond Earth. It started like any other deep space observation, a faint glimmer in the darkness, a flicker that could have been a distant star, a sensor glitch, or just background noise. But within days, astronomers realized this was something different. This object was moving, fast, and its trajectory didn't match anything ever recorded before. They named it 3I Atlas, the third confirmed interstellar object to enter our solar system after Oumuamua and Borisov. But even from the earliest data, it became clear that this one was nothing like the others. Its mass, its speed, and its composition defied every known rule of celestial mechanics. Based on its gravitational influence and brightness, 3I Atlas is estimated to weigh nearly 73 trillion pounds, roughly the mass of a small moon. Yet it's not bound by any planet's gravity. It's just passing through, slicing through the solar system at 124,000 miles per hour, a speed that's too high for any object native to our sun's orbit. In short, it doesn't belong here. Even more puzzling was its light signature. As telescopes around the world tracked it, they detected a polarization anomaly. The light scattering off its surface showed extreme negative polarization, something no comet or asteroid in recorded history has ever displayed. The phenomenon implies that 3I Atlas's surface is made of materials that either don't exist naturally in our solar system or are arranged in a way that no natural process could reproduce. At first, some scientists suggested that maybe it was just covered in exotic dust or ice from another star system. But then came the first precise orbital measurements, and those made the discovery even stranger. Its path through space aligned almost perfectly with the plane of Earth's orbit, within a margin of 5 degrees. The probability of such alignment happening by pure chance? Less than 1 in a million. 3I Atlas wasn't tumbling randomly through the void like Oumuamua. It was moving in a clean, precise trajectory, as if it had been aimed. As news of the detection spread, observatories across Europe and the United States redirected their telescopes. Agencies from NASA to ESA began collaborating on real-time monitoring, feeding high-resolution data into global models. The calculations confirmed what no one wanted to believe. The object was on a mathematically perfect course that would bring it astonishingly close to Mars, closer than any known interstellar body had ever come to a planet in human history. By late September, 3I Atlas's trajectory was plotted with eerie precision. The interstellar traveler was not only approaching, it was accelerating, maintaining stability no matter how intense the solar wind became. There were no visible signs of spin, fragmentation, or deviation. It was too perfect. This was the moment that transformed curiosity into unease. A handful of astrophysicists, including Harvard's Dr. Avi Loeb, began to raise a possibility that would have been unthinkable even a decade ago, that 3I Atlas might not be a natural object at all. Because for something that heavy, that stable, and that deliberately aligned to move with such precision through our planetary system, the simplest explanation might not be physics, but engineering. And as the object continued its silent journey toward Mars, every new image and every new dataset only deepened the mystery. 3I Atlas wasn't just a comet, it was a cosmic enigma, an impossible traveler that had arrived uninvited and was now moving with purpose through our solar system. Something that large, that deliberate, and that silent couldn't be ignored. When astronomers first charted the orbit of 3I Atlas, they expected randomness, a wild, chaotic path typical of an interstellar object drifting through a foreign system. But what they found instead was precision, an eerie mathematical precision that no natural object should possess. As the data poured in from observatories across the world, one fact became undeniable. 3I Atlas's orbit was perfectly aligned with the ecliptic plane, the flat, disk-like region where all of the solar system's planets orbit the Sun. At first, the alignment seemed like coincidence, but the deeper scientists looked, the less sense it made. The probability that an interstellar object, traveling for millions of years through the galaxy, would enter our solar system along the same orbital plane as Earth, Mars, and Jupiter was so small that it bordered on impossible. Statistically, the odds were calculated at less than 1 in 50,000. And yet, here it was, moving with astonishing grace, skimming across the same invisible plane that holds all the major planets. The more precise the measurements became, the more unnatural it appeared. 3I Atlas was not just aligned, it was positioned with purpose. Its orbital inclination, a mere 5 degrees, was perfect for passing through key regions of the solar system without colliding with debris or being perturbed by planetary gravity. As the weeks went by, something even stranger emerged. The trajectory didn't just match the ecliptic, it was taking the object on a multiplanetary path, one that would allow it to approach Mars, then move outward past Jupiter in March 2026, where it would pass through a sequence of planetary alignments so geometrically precise that even veteran astronomers called it designed. Each point of the orbit positioned it in such a way that it could, theoretically, observe multiple planets simultaneously, a flight path far too optimized for mere chance. Some researchers quietly began calling it the path of observation. If an intelligent probe wanted to study our solar system without interfering or revealing itself, this was exactly the kind of orbit it would choose. Low inclination, long visibility windows, and gravitational stability across multiple planetary encounters. But what pushed the speculation further was the timing. As Earth lost line of sight due to the Sun's glare during its perihelion, Mars and its orbiters had an uninterrupted view, followed by Jupiter's window of alignment months later. It was as though 3I Atlas's course had been plotted with these exact conditions in mind, ensuring that at every stage of its journey, one planetary vantage point could still observe it, or be observed by it. The sheer improbability of this alignment began to shake even the most skeptical voices in the astrophysics community. Was this truly a coincidence of cosmic geometry? Or had we just stumbled upon evidence of intentional navigation, a trajectory engineered to gather data, scan planets, or perhaps map intelligent activity within the solar system? One astronomer from the European Space Agency summarized the unease best. "If this object were a ship, this would be the course I'd plot, not to be seen, but to see everything." And now, as it moves steadily toward Jupiter, that's exactly what 3I Atlas seems to be doing, gliding silently through the ecliptic, as if following a route written not by chance, but by design. Each kilometer it travels deepens the question that no one wants to answer. If it's following our path so perfectly, was it always meant to find us? As the mystery around 3I Atlas deepened, new theories began to surface, some scientific, others bordering on the philosophical. Among them was one that stood out for its elegance and its daring, the planet seed theory. Proposed by planetary scientist Dr. Suzanne Feiner, this hypothesis sought to explain the impossible combination of mass, stability, and composition that had made 3I Atlas such an anomaly. According to Dr. Feiner, what humanity might be witnessing was not a spacecraft nor an artificial construct, but something far more ancient and fundamental, a planetary embryo, a colossal fragment from the early formation of a distant solar system cast adrift through the galaxy. In her words, 3I Atlas could be a planet seed, the cosmic equivalent of DNA, a building block ejected from one star system to eventually give birth to another. It was a poetic idea, but also one rooted in physics. When solar systems form, violent gravitational interactions can eject massive planetary cores into interstellar space. These orphaned fragments, still rich in metals, carbon, and volatile gases, drift for billions of years, until eventually they encounter the right environment, a young star with enough gravity to capture them and begin the process of planetary growth anew. If this was true, 3I Atlas wasn't just a visitor. It was a creator, carrying within it the materials necessary to ignite the formation of worlds. And the evidence seemed to fit. Its density was far higher than any comet. Its mass was more akin to a small moon, and its chemical makeup, heavy in nickel, carbon dioxide, and complex molecules, hinted at a planetary crust, not a loosely packed cometary core. Fenner's theory also explained its resilience. When struck by a coronal mass ejection in late September, 3I Atlas withstood the solar storm without fracturing. A body forged from planetary rock and metal could survive conditions that would obliterate even the strongest comet. In that sense, its endurance wasn't just extraordinary, it was expected. What made the theory even more fascinating was its potential implication for life itself. If planet seeds like 3I Atlas were common throughout the galaxy, drifting from system to system, they could act as carriers of organic material, spreading the basic chemistry of life across the stars. This concept, known as panspermia, had long been debated, but never had there been a candidate object massive and stable enough to support it. 3I Atlas might have just changed that. In the labs of the European Space Agency, scientists began to compare its spectral data to known planetary compositions. The ratios of nickel, carbon, and oxygen didn't match comets, asteroids, or even Kuiper Belt objects. They were too organized, too balanced. As one researcher remarked, this isn't the randomness of a comet. It's the chemistry of something that was once alive, a planet in the making. Dr. Feiner took the analogy further. She described 3I Atlas as a cosmic seed pod, a traveler sent by the chaos of the early universe to plant the ingredients of creation wherever it went. Its journey through the galaxy wasn't accidental. It was a natural part of the universe's life cycle, scattering matter, metals, and organic molecules across star systems to ensure that the process of formation never stops. If her theory was right, then what we were seeing wasn't just a mystery. It was a glimpse into the very mechanism of cosmic evolution. And yet, even this poetic explanation couldn't answer everything. The perfect orbital alignment, the negative polarization, and the impossible precision of its trajectory all hinted that 3I Atlas was still far more than a drifting seed. Was it truly a natural phenomenon? Or was it something that had once been natural, but altered, reshaped, or guided long ago? As Dr. Feiner herself admitted in her final interview before the ESA briefing, if 3I Atlas really is a planet seed, then maybe the question isn't where it came from, but who or what planted it in the first place. And with that, a new layer was added to the enigma. Because whether 3I Atlas was a relic of nature or a relic of intelligence, one fact remained unchanged. It wasn't here by accident. It was here for a reason. As the data surrounding 3I Atlas continued to challenge every natural explanation, a far darker and more unsettling hypothesis began to emerge, one that echoed through both scientific circles and public forums alike. The idea was first proposed, quietly but firmly, by Dr. Avi Loeb of Harvard University, whose earlier theories about interstellar technology had already divided the astrophysical community. But this time, his words carried a weight that even skeptics couldn't easily dismiss. According to Loeb, 3I Atlas might not be a comet at all. It might be a Trojan horse, an alien technology deliberately disguised as a natural interstellar object. At first, the theory seemed too extreme to consider, but the more scientists compared the evidence, the more disturbingly well it fit. Every one of 3I Atlas's known anomalies, its precise orbital alignment, its impossible stability, its negative polarization, and its chemical composition, could be explained if it were something engineered. In fact, Loeb argued, the characteristics of 3I Atlas made perfect sense not as a random piece of rock, but as a machine designed to survive interstellar travel, gather information, and remain undetected. He referred to it as a technological relic, something that could have been drifting through the galaxy for millions of years, passing silently through star systems, collecting data and moving on. Its reflective polarization, once thought to be a mystery of mineral composition, could easily result from synthetic materials, alloys or nanostructures that scatter light in precisely the way astronomers observed. The same property that made it unique could, in fact, be the signature of an artificial surface. But what made the Trojan horse analogy truly haunting was its behavior. From the moment it entered the solar system, 3I Atlas moved in perfect harmony with the planetary plane, as though following a map. It didn't behave like a comet under solar pressure. It didn't accelerate unpredictably or shed mass unevenly. Instead, it seemed to adjust, maintaining course through solar storms and gravitational fields as if compensating for the environment around it. When NASA data feeds abruptly went silent during its closest approach to Mars, conspiracy theories exploded online. People claimed that the agency was hiding evidence, that something had been detected, perhaps even intercepted. But for Loeb, the reality didn't need to be so sensational. The simple existence of such a stable, durable, and deliberately aligned object was already evidence enough that intention might be involved. He proposed that if 3I Atlas were truly a piece of technology, it could represent a perfect disguise. After all, what better way to explore an inhabited galaxy than to send probes that look exactly like natural comets, the most common objects in space, the least likely to attract attention? A civilization millions of years older than ours wouldn't need to invade or communicate. It could simply observe, letting its probes drift between stars like seeds of knowledge or surveillance. Some theorists even speculated that 3I Atlas could be part of a network of autonomous explorers, each programmed to activate under specific conditions, for instance when encountering electromagnetic emissions like those produced by radio technology. If true, that would mean 3I Atlas may not have come to us by coincidence. It may have been drawn here. The concept of a Trojan horse wasn't just metaphorical. If an alien probe wanted to study our solar system undetected, it would need to be durable, metallic, and capable of resisting solar radiation, exactly as 3I Atlas has done. The metal-rich composition detected in its coma, particularly nickel and carbon-based compounds, fits perfectly with the idea of heat-resistant alloys used in advanced engineering. Still, Loeb admitted that direct proof was lacking. The object is too far away now, too faint, and no mission exists capable of intercepting it before it disappears beyond Jupiter and back into interstellar space. But his conclusion was clear. The pattern of coincidences, the timing, the alignment, the resilience, all point toward intelligence. As he stated in one interview that sparked global debate, "If I were to design a machine to traverse star systems unnoticed, I'd make it look exactly like 3I Atlas." And so the question lingers, hanging over the scientific community like a shadow. Was 3I Atlas truly a relic of cosmic evolution, or a visitor in disguise, silently watching as it passed through our world? If it really is a Trojan horse, then it has already done its job. It entered unseen, gathered what it needed, and is now leaving, vanishing back into the dark, carrying with it data from the only planet in the solar system known to ask questions about its own observers. And as it fades into the abyss, one thought refuses to fade with it. What if we were never meant to notice it at all? As 3I Atlas drifts silently back toward the black ocean between the stars, it leaves behind a trail not of dust, but of questions. Questions that challenge the very foundations of how we see our place in the universe. For months, we've watched it defy physics, shrug off solar storms, and move with precision that mocks randomness itself. We've measured its mass, tracked its orbit, and analyzed its strange polarized light. And still, It refuses to fit within any natural model. Was it a comet? A planet seed? Or something else entirely? Something that was never meant to be understood by the civilization observing it? What we do know is that 3I Atlas has rewritten the boundaries of possibility. Its impossible alignment, its resistance to destruction, and its compositional anomalies have united astronomers, physicists, and dreamers in a single pursuit: the truth. And yet, perhaps the most haunting truth of all is that we may never get it. It's already fading, its light growing weaker with every passing night, slipping beyond Jupiter's reach, beyond our telescopes, beyond our questions. Still, its brief visit has forced humanity to confront an idea as old as the stars, that we are not alone, and perhaps never were. If Avi Loeb's Trojan horse theory is correct, then 3I Atlas was never meant to communicate or reveal itself. It was built to blend in, to watch silently, to observe from the shadows, and to disappear without leaving a trace. Maybe that's what makes this so unsettling: the possibility that what we call discovery was never ours to begin with, that we only noticed it because it wanted to be seen. And if this was just a single object crossing our path by design, then how many others have passed by unnoticed? How many other comets were never comets at all? But beyond the speculation, beyond the fear, lies something far greater: wonder. Because whether 3I Atlas was a machine, a relic, or a natural messenger from another world, it has done something no human probe, telescope, or mission has ever accomplished. It has reminded us that the universe is still capable of surprise, that the cosmos is alive, vast, intelligent, and far more mysterious than our equations allow. One day, when our technology has advanced enough, maybe we'll find it again, out there, drifting between the stars, carrying the data it gathered here, the faint echo of our world stored deep within its alien heart. And maybe, just maybe when we do, we'll realize that 3I Atlas wasn't the first to come. It was simply the first we noticed. Because perhaps the greatest discovery of all isn't that something came to see us, but that, for the first time, we were able to see it back.